Hello, good morning, good afternoon, or good day, I suppose. How you doing, Potato? How is Friday treating you? Shroud, good morning. Hello and good, all the things you said too. Good morning, Milan. Storm is coming in, so disappear. I probably planted potato at 1 p.m. Doing good, doing good. Yeah, it's Friday, finally. Feels like it's taken a long time to get here this week. Um, I've not achieved as much as I wanted to achieve. That being said, so I'm going to resume developers.stream stuff today. Today, I want to get over this YouTube hurdle. So I've not done Auth stuff before, other than Auth0. My exposure to Auth is actually pretty limited through a long career. Um, so I'm learning some of the lessons of what are the similarities and what are the differences between how they implement OAuth um, along the way here. Now, I could go off and read a long uh, I'm not sure that's going to work, but let's find out. Probably gonna have to escape those things now. There you go. I probably could go off and read a long and very dry document on Auth in general. Um, but that's just too easy. So what I'm trying to do is learn through failure, which I normally have more success with. So what I'm trying to do right this second is figure out. So I'm getting the response of the code. It's giving me a code back in this code flaw, but it is not giving me. Do I want OpenID? Comma. Let's try that. It's not giving me. It's not giving me the. It's returning a bad grant, right? And I'm realizing that it's not going to give me. I'm using Claude to see if it gives me any hints here as to how some of this stuff might work. Google authorization code flow. Well, that might be a. Is that actually a thing? Rather than reinvent the wheel, why don't we do it that way? Let's have a look. Google APIs auth. Is that the package? I mean, there's not much difference. We're not doing this though. We're not trying to get the actual code. We've got the code request through the API from the client. We're building that on that side. But if they have a flow that allows me to do this and it has a wrapper around this piece, then maybe I can just maybe make this a little simpler. So I'm learning there's slightly different ways to doing this, which is, yeah. Now, the goal of this project, the goal of this application is to, um, you know, to be able to link these to validate the actual user is who they say they are, and also that they have access to an account, right? What I'm worrying about right now is, can I get that information from the YouTube flow? So let's go back to that. I'm going to bring that Claude window over here. Is anything bad there? There we go. That's that. So, you go to the screen, you click the link, it generates a request to it's not running. It generates a request to the server to get a code, generate a state which puts a record in this table here, right? That sets up, okay, we're going to have a YouTube account. Here's the state that we're expecting back. You click the button, it opens up YouTube. It says, hey, do you want to link your account? This platform is asking for access. You hit continue, and it comes back to the other endpoint, and we get the idea is we get the channel, which works fine for the actually, I want to stop that. I don't want to run that yet. I need to go to that Claude code, Google authorization code flow. So let's just change this a little bit. Yeah, it's on all Windows. Right. Var flow equals new Google authorization code flow. Okay. New initializer. Because you could have made that an object, you monsters. Client ID equals configuration client ID. Client secrets. Oh, so client ID is not. Client secrets equals. Is it a collection? What is it? You. Oh, there you are. Okay. Scopes. What would scopes be here? Oh, so scopes should match the other side. Okay. So we're gonna test this. Scopes. Okay, so yeah, that scopes is not that. Oh, there you go. JTTPS. That's a new protocol. Let's see if that will request. Variable declaration like JavaScript. I mean, similar. I mean, JavaScript and or more precisely, more recently, the TypeScript has they align a lot. So now they're saying that this should be await flow dot exchange code for token can be any string to identify the user in your system. User code. That's not what that's saying, is it? Oh yeah, it is. Configuration dot redirect URI and cancellation token none. we'll have to fix that, I think. Okay. Oh, are you serious? I've got to make a whole new request. So that so that gets me the token. Well, hold on. What did I have to do with Twitch? Twitch was nice and easy. Twitch was like, yeah, here you go. Here's your channel name. So my Twitch authentication response here contained my user, I believe. So I suppose it isn't any different. If this token response is the same, then I think the workflow is the identical. But my concern there is, no, we basically just auth and go and get the actual. We need the YouTube service. Okay. I mean, if you are watching this and you have any insights, you have any thoughts, opinions, questions on what I'm doing, please feel free, join in. This project is aimed at being an open source project eventually, so hopefully from this will come some guidance on how you might do this in your own app, or how you might not do this in your own app. Like what are the pitfalls of doing it the way I'm doing it? So I am happy to learn and fail. So I'm assuming registration link. So this is my concern: is how many of these blinking things do I need to do? Let's see if it'll let me do that. I think we're going to get limited there. Let's see if that actually runs. And then if we get back around here, do we get, so based upon, and again, obviously, yeah, that becomes an entire thing that you need to pass around. That's an interesting challenge. So that's a token response, and that has token response, the access token, yeah. So this might return a token response rather than this object, which means that that flow that I was talking about before. So when we go through link account, the general idea here, or the general hope, was that it's the same. Ultimately, it just needs to end in this, right, where we set the channel. So how we set the channel is not really the problem. Is just how do we get this? We probably want to create a combined I was hoping that would give the same sort of response, but it doesn't work that way. And based upon what I've seen so far, I'm thinking that okay, that should build. Let's have a look. Let's see if we even get to this point, because that might be a challenge right this second. I decided that working on this, that doing this piece was probably a better place to start. Get this out of the way, because then we've got YouTube and Twitch linked, which allows those cards to be more dynamic. I can only test with my account, right? Right this second. So that's going to be limiting. I'm still gonna have to add mock data in there to make everything else work. But we'll try. We'll try and get that. So yeah. Okay, so let's go back here. Let's go back here. Let's refresh this. And again, really interested to if anyone has any thoughts or opinions on how this is working, what I'm doing. If you feel that I'm overcomplicating things, I'm always open to listening to them. And I will. Yeah. So what we're trying to do, we say link YouTube account. When we click link YouTube account, we hope it goes out here. Invalid scope. Yeah, there we go. Some requested scopes are invalid. Yeah, that's what I thought it might be. Where do we, because how do I get scopes? Client side web apps. Scopes. YouTube. Oh, look. Scopes. YouTube read only. Is it the other one that's actually bad? The other one. Was it this one that Google that was showing the example? Is that actually bad? Yeah, that's not actually a scope, is it? I just want to view a YouTube account. That's all I actually care about. I just need to validate you are who you say you are, right? So the streamer profile service, we just remove this one. Your email doesn't matter to me. I don't want to. I don't. I mean, we collect it by virtue of you logging in, but that's the email that you log in with, not this email. So I don't care about every single email for every single account, right? Let's start up again. So hopefully by the end of today, we can get this auth working. We can review what it looks like from a now a 2 platform perspective, and we can see if there's any the similarities that we can cut down on duplicated code, and make that flow more readable, right? I'm not trying to overcomplicate it. I'm not trying to do more than I need, but at the same time, I don't want to leave a mess behind because it is challenging. Okay. Profile. Move that. Save that. Link YouTube account. Invalid scopes. Some requested scopes are invalid. Invalid. Learn more about this error. Examine scopes of access granted by the user. Award 2 scopes. Okay. So is OpenID scope the actual problem then in that now? Forget about hot reload. Let's just go back there. Open that again. Delete that token again. Delete that request. Go to profile. Go to link YouTube account. There we go. Developers.stream. Developer has not completed the Google verification process. The app is currently being tested and can only be accessed by developer approved testers. If you think you should have access to content developer. Oh. Oh. So at this point, publishing app testing. Add users. Oh, here we go. Again, I have a question. Do you think one needs to master the basic disciplines of computer science when learning computer application development, like computer organization and operating system, etc.? No, no, I don't. I think you can still learn app development and not. Actually, a lot of developers I know aren't really good on the hardware side or on the underpinnings of the machine. Operating system, again, especially in today's world, the operating system is more abstracted than ever, with virtualization being what it is, containerized applications. You don't need to care about how the operating system does what it needs. That being said, understanding in the language you're using what memory management looks like, what good practices look like is useful. You don't want to waste resources. With .NET, that might be making sure you have all the right usings. You have disposes where you can't call using. You manage the lifetime of things properly. Those sorts of things are definitely worth understanding. Yeah, I don't think having a solid underpinning of how computers work and how operating systems work can't hurt you. But I don't think you need to go off and do that to learn how to be a developer. Okay, so I've given my access to that account. So I'm going to select that. That's my account. You've been given access to an app that's currently being tested. You should only continue if you know the developer. Yes. Okay, so now this is the thing. Make sure you. So this is why that access. Okay, continue. So now I should get to the other side. There we go. Okay. So flow, token response. Do I have a valid token? Token response is null. That's even worse. Because worries. Exception. Bad redirect. Ah. Oh, because I didn't set the redirect. Well, that's why. Where do I set the redirect? No, configuration.redirect URI. It was there. You can't tell me bad redirect. That's not fair. It was working previously. I know it was working. Exchange code for token async. This is most baffling. Why can't it just be nice and easy and not secure like Twitch? has to go like, oh, well, you have to have access and you have to allow people, and you must submit a verification request. I don't want to verify yet because that means right. It's it. So the thing is, it's like OAuth, but not the same as Twitch OAuth, and oh. Do you have any tips on planning out the projects of ADHD? And whenever I start a project, I get an idea for another project, and then that just repeats and multiplies until I'm overwhelmed, bored, and end up watching YouTube or Twitch or something like migraine. Yes, I have a migraine right now. Rumbling Geek, hello. That should sound similar, shouldn't it? That is common for all of us, I think, or for a lot of us. I'll remove the absolute. One line would not approve of my absolute there. um, I think I say this a lot recently is find something that you actually want to engage in. Um, find something that you understand more of, not just that you think you're solving a problem. Because if you have to, I said this the other day, right? If you have to solve, if you have to solve both the problem of understanding what you're trying to do and the problem of the code, it's a little harder to go along with. Because you're struggling on both sides, which means that you'll get bored quicker. As for planning projects, don't do too much to like don't plan out, you know, how you're going to spend your millions until you've written a bit of code. Um, it's okay to throw stuff out. So I would I would plan out like a day at a time. Plan out, okay, here's the feature I want to do. That's my focus. Here's the feature I want to do. That's my focus. And kind of don't plan out what it could be. And then, again, um, as it's not, as it's a personal project, uh, you don't have to plan, 6 months in advance. And, achieve wins. Like for me, my hope was that this would be relatively simple, that I would be able to get the scope and follow the pattern and plug things in. Is this going the way I want it to go? Absolutely not. um, but this is kind of my short-term goal. If you've noticed, I'm not like, I've got ideas of what I want to do in the future, but I'm not planning them out. So I'm not planning that piece. I don't want to get bogged down in how that might work. And yeah, I would say don't just pick up projects for the sake of picking up projects. Pick up projects because they solve a problem or because you really care about the thing. That's where I've had most of my success. But again, you're not alone. The dev showed this yesterday. Prototypes, right? Projects. These are all dev stuff, right? These are all different things. We do this not because it's easy, because we thought it might be easy. Or we thought it would be easy. Yeah. Morning. It's just for personal projects to slap onto GitHub. I work at a company at ERP, but I don't have any other real experience projects on my own. When I push myself to, hey, let's make a task manager, I get extremely overwhelmed for some reason. I don't really have problems that I can solve with web dev. So you probably, I mean, I personally wouldn't turn that slap onto GitHub. Um, real experience, real experience isn't fun all the time, right? Um, like I said, yes, I think I talked about this yesterday a little bit. The my game tracking library, right? So I have a lot of games, right? Um, so uh, physical games. I collect video games, right? So I built a site, right? Because I have context of the problem. I have a thing I care about, right? So I can see the games. I can see the most expensive games in the collection. I can uh, keep track of these things. I know which ones I've bought recently. I if I expand that, that'd probably work. The pie chart isn't showing. I can see where most of my games are. Um, I can track. Why are you not working? I can keep track of the platforms that I own games for. I can update pricing. Yeah, it's the Blazor default. Uh, this is actually this was written when Blazor no, this was written uh 5 years ago now, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. Um, yeah, actually, I probably do know that. But yeah, I can go through the games. I can search them. I can download a PDF of them. Right, it's solving a problem. It's solving a problem I have of I need to track, where my games are. Um, my actual in slightly more darker way, the actual reason this is tracked is so that if something's happened to me, my wife knows exactly what I have. That was the focus of this piece, right? So, um, but I had a purpose. It's a project, right? This is still a project. When I started Liquid Sky, it was either Liquid Sky or another version of this with a bigger API and a more um, dynamic behavior. And as it turns out, I actually am still working on a version of this that is built using Azure Functions. Um, so it's just finding something rather than starting. I want to write a task manager. Let's make a task manager. Start with something simpler. Build small tools. Build you know experiments. If you look at so where developers.stream is, if you look at this repo, right? This is the stream. This is the one I make just for the stream. There's all sorts of samples in here. There's mediator libraries. So can I make a mediator in a day? Last couple of years ago now, we did stream challenges. So there's a .NET, there's a Discord you can join that is where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? No, I didn't lose you. Where's the stream one? I don't know where it is. Um, I'll find it. But basically, it's coding challenges, right? And in there, um, the author posts, well, it's a website, the author posts coding challenges. So what we did is we did some of them in a day, in a stream. The aim was read the requirements and share what it takes for me to look at the requirements and build out the things. Um, terrible CQRS. I don't remember this, but we apparently did this. Add line items, handlers. Oh, we're playing with aggregates and stuff. Apparently, I did this 4 years ago. Okay, but anyway, so you know, there's all sorts of different ways of doing project stuff. It's not all It's not all about big ideas. Sometimes it's about, yeah, here you go, another game library one. 6 years ago. Apparently, I did a lot of it as well. So the game library is pretty much my go-to. Um, I don't know what I want to do. I'll build something. And what I'll do is if I'm on a day where I'm not feeling very strong on something else, I'll go off and do one of them. Sometimes, though, I will say sometimes I force myself to not do something else so that I can kind of focus on the computer or focus on a challenge. Okay, so we have a redirect problem there. Let's run this again and let's see if that redirect URI is not set. My biggest panic right now, or my biggest concern right now is what happens if I keep doing this? Is YouTube going to go, no, you can't have this. Refresh that. Come on, start up. You really still starting? Yeah, okay, it was really starting. I have a remote wireless button to turn PC on off. For the first time ever, I've just leant on it and killed the power to my PC. A remote wireless. Whoops. Oh dear. Say that, but last night I'm sorry, I'm not saying that. Uh, Last night I walked in this morning and realized my PC was on, and I probably would have known that when I was sat on the sofa last night, but then forgotten about it before going to bed. So okay, so let's do this again. Let's refresh this, delete this, save that, refresh that, link YouTube account, continue, continue. Practice safety, the developer. My goodness me, how many clicks does it take to get through YouTube? Okay. Are you set? Yes, you are set. Okay. So F10, exception, redirect URI mismatch. Bad request. Oh, I don't get this. This is driving me nutty. It's clearly set. Redirect URI is clearly set. Sending in the code. Faulted. Do you have a URL encode in it? Do you, no, because it's a client library. It shouldn't actually care about URL encoding there because it's doing the actual building of that. If we go in there, rate authorization token request, redirect URI, authorization token request, exchange code for token, fetch token async, post form async. server URL. What? Store token. What? Exchange code for token. Fetch token async. Token response. Or token async. Data store. Wow, this is quite a library, isn't it? Honestly, I wonder if I can avoid, like, it's very nice that they give me this thing, but can I return to this method of doing it and just return and put scopes in there? Can scopes go back in this request, in this authorization code? I don't think they do they? That'd be awesome. I'm more than happy to do it that way. Server side, identify access scopes. I only need read-only access. Obtaining OAuth, access tokens, scope, required, redirect. Like, do I have to provide, if I provide scope in this next request, does it work? Exchange token. No, it doesn't. The code doesn't require that. But it gives you back the scope. But then I'd still have to turn around and get the actual channel information. So if it's going to work, the first one should, this should work anyway, right? But this doesn't work. Actually, saying that, am I certain of that fact? I change it out. Let's validate that piece first, because now the token that we actually are asking for is slightly different. There's a different applied scope, so maybe this one will work. If I don't have to use the Google libraries and I can do what I need to do, perfectly fine. Perfectly fine with that flow. I can use the APIs. I don't need to wrap their libraries around everything. Now, the challenge there is that now I've got my own implementation of what their libraries are doing somewhat underneath, but I also don't have another library to pull in for just one or two methods. Okay. Eventually, I'll remember to stop doing this. Okay. There you go. Profile. Linked YouTube account. Yes. This is my account. This is my brand. Continue. 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 Okay. Request. Response. Bad request. View. I don't know if you've noticed, by the way, because I've wrapped up the client ID and stuff in an object, it doesn't automatically show me the configuration. So it doesn't show me the client ID in secret, which is definitely better than it used to be. Yeah, it returns invalid grant that way. Well, that's just terrible, isn't it? Okay. So this one complains about redirect UI. Loki, hello. This is an unexpected pleasure. Hello, buddy. Hello, bud. You okay? Whoop. Come here. Hello, my friend. Hello, buddy. Hey, bud. Oh. Loki obviously wanted some attention. Hey, bud. Okay. Yeah, indeed. What's this? Hey, friend. Okay. You okay? Whoa. Uh, oh, and again, I really hope this isn't too distracting. No, it's fine. But something else that came to mind is, did you add your localhost or whatever your redirect URI is to Twitch console? I'm about to head up for coffee, but I remember getting errors that seem like it's related to. Yes, yeah, yeah. That's in the list of all redirect URIs. This one is one, so that is but that is worth mentioning that because I did that off stream earlier on, right? So API. So I redirect to 7102/profile, and that has to be in here. 7102/profile. So there you go. But yeah, that's a good call out, one line. Appreciate it. The reason I'm not showing that is because whereas Twitch only gives you a secret once, YouTube allows you to download it and also shows pertinent information on the screen. So I'm being careful about what I actually show. YouTube actually shows, or Google actually shows the client secret on the screen in full plain text. So awesome. Good job, Google Cloud. So we got the redirect URI there. That is fine. Let's close other tabs. Exchange code for token async. Let's go do some clouding. I get an error that it's empty and calling. Like if it was like client ID is wrong or secret's bad or the scope is incorrect, great. I'll be a little longer today because of recycling garbage. I never really mention when I'm awake. Don't worry. Make sure this matches exactly what you used in the authorization request. Oh. Is it the same? So when we do this, what is the redirect URI here? Code flow redirect URI. Oh. I think Twitch didn't care about that. I think YouTube does care about that. So I think we do code flow redirect URI. However, we need to make sure we remember where that is. App settings. What does that? So the problem is CodeFlow redirect URI is this one. Let's see if that changes anything. I'll be honest, I did wonder what redirect URI meant earlier on. I was like, what's redirect URI got to do with anything? Because I was obviously providing it in the other one. So that makes more sense, and I might then be able to get away with doing this version, which would be awesome. Although I still got to do the flow, so using the tools. We'll see. We'll see. Okie dokie. This is quite the challenge. I didn't expect it to be this challenge today. You know, because Twitch, as much as I'm not a big fan of Twitch's APIs and Twitch's flows, the documentation got me through that, right? And it's only my inability to read that caused me problems. Penny, hello, good day. Okay, so CodeFlow redirect URI, that should match what we just went to. Did we get a token? Oh, we did. No, did we? Yes, we did. I think we did get a token response. Yes. Jay. It was that all along. Stop all. Stop the presses. We have what we need. Okay. So now I have a design problem. The flow I've got right now says this will return a response. From there, you will go and do what you need to do to get the name. To return that response, I have to return this token response because the library, if I'm using the library, which at this point kind of does make sense, right? So using the library, I have to have that token response to go and do the next part, which is to go and ask for the user, the channel name, which I've just given permission to see. The problem with that is this token response is a library specific response. I don't want to return a library specific response from this because I don't want that to pull that dependency up into my code. Right? So this handler here, this link account, in the Twitch version, we got the authentication. Then we went and fetched the channel name from the authentication. We're awesome. It's great. However, I think a bit of refactoring is required. So let's remove that. Let's make this fetch channel name from we're going to do that. In our Twitch client here, we're going to inject that. We're going to get a string channel name. Yes, I'm kind of merging responsibility, but I'm basically saying that the client knows how to give you the name, which does make sense because it is inside of Twitch anyway, right? So then We don't need to do that. We just need to do channel name. The rest comes out of there. It should be obvious what I'm essentially doing here. Ooh. We'll come back on. I think I might make the result type so I can return error. So we have that. We have that. Then we do that. Result that is valid. Result dot access token. No, result. Oh yeah, it pulls it from the authentication. And then, okay, so otherwise return channel name. Okay, so apart from the code being, what I'm looking to do here is basically genericize these, I suppose, to the point where this code is pretty much the same, right? So all that changes string channel name empty. We remove that. We take this. We do that. We'll assume the channel name is not going to be set to empty string, and we go into the YouTube client and do something similar. So now we've just got these things. Let's do that. They're now almost identical. Fetch channel name using authentication code, and that's that. Now we can remove all that. So that's just fluff. That makes that a little bit more readable, a little bit more concise. Again, it does kind of make sense to the behavior of getting the channel name into the actual client itself. To me, let's do this. Also, I closed the Claude window down that I was using, I think. Oh, no, I didn't. So Claude then goes to say, we do this. Any other fields? I don't need any other fields. Again, all we're doing is getting the name so we can build the URL, and that's it. Hey, Fushnovel, how you doing? The fact that I need to do this again is like, ID. But Claude's wrong. Okay. YouTube service. What is YouTube service defined? I have completed my first 256 byte program. That's insane. YouTube, Google APIs, YouTube. Is that what that's going to be in? .NET 6. That feels like that's a little bit out of date. I thought I had more flops, so it runs more sluggish than I hoped. Running x86 assembler, of course. Just the brain power involved in doing that just baffles me. I wish I was that smart. YouTube, get the authenticated. Get a lot of help from Claude. Don't know. Again, unless you are not understanding what you're doing, you still have to understand the questions that you want to ask to get to there. So Still impressive. Where is YouTube? So I'm just searching to see if there's any link to Google's API client library for .NET. Is that really the library? Is Google.apis Google dot start APIs dot YouTube. It is. I guess it doesn't change very much. Claude and their ilk are surprisingly good at x86 assembler, and they can help with refactoring when you realize that you want to reorder the FPE stack. They don't get it 100% right, but it's a start. Exactly. Yeah. Okay, so that's that piece. Okay. Okay, so let's go back here and do. This seems now kind of redundant. It's the same thing, so let's move that to field. Code flow init flow initializer. Move that there. Ugh, of course it won't do that, yeah. Let's worry about it in a second. Ow. What I'm struggling with right now, by the way, is I'm just struggling with my concentration a lot. So apologies if I'm not talking as much, or I'm talking more intermittently. Go flow initializer. Okay, so that's that. This is developers stream, credential, developer stream, get the authenticate users channel. Channels list request mine. Yes, true. Channels list response there. Otherwise return null. That returns an object. I don't want an object, I just want a string. A nullable string. And we'll just return channel.snippet.title. Actually, we need to put breakpoint here first. Var result equals that. Return string. Yeah. We need to get there first. So from that, await get YouTube channel info from the token response. Stop it! I didn't say. What I'm trying to be careful of there is that I don't return like Terry Burns Dyson on Terry BD as the name. It's TBD develop, right? So if the ID, I'm wondering the ID will contain that, and the ID that YouTube uses to uniquely identify the channel. That might be that. It could be this though, so we'll have to see. Loki, what do you want to need? Do you need out? Do you need out? I'll be right back. I don't do this very often anymore. Okay, sorry about that. I'll give them a minute or two. Okay, so let's make sure this Twitch client's doing the right thing. I think what we'll do is we'll create a infrastructure. I don't want to solve a problem with another problem. We clearly have paths that we want to be able to return. We didn't get what we wanted. So let's make sure this is consistent. Let's make sure. I'm going to bring in our Dallas result. I like the result library. I think it's useful. We're going to change the APIs on these clients to use result. So that's going to be a result of string. Right. This way, what we can do is now in this case, we can do return result dot error. Return result dot forbidden. I'm reminded Delta the other day. Apparently, some people don't like the name result here. In this case, it definitely is incorrect. It's right. If I'm returning that thing, it's the result of the method. It is what it is. Dereference of possibly null value if it's not. Right, so if it's null or it's not true. So if it's not an object that has is valid true, then it's forbidden. Then we get the channel name and fetch channel name if this is null. Result dot not found. Otherwise, result dot success channel name. There we go. So that allows us to describe the thing a little bit better. This now is going to break in a second because this is going to require a result. So channel name is not going to fit. So when it notices, it's going to have an issue with that. Well, actually, it won't. It won't have an issue because it will implicitly cast the result to the string. So it knows that that's there. So now the problem with that is an empty string. Actually, this one's going to go the same way. We're going to do the same thing on the YouTube client. So let's add that one there. We'll worry about code organization a little bit later. We'll do some tidy up before we say this is ready to go. Have some discussions about standards and practices. Remove the unused field configuration. Not sure you count that as unused. Remove unused member. I think you are going to find that that is not unused. No, that's fine. SonarCube and I are going to have some talk. Let's do return result dot not found. Oh no, that's not that's not the right one. That one was fine. It's this one. Return result dot success. Channel name. Generally, what I'll try and do is I will cut down multiple returns. I don't have a general issue with it, but there we go. That's healthier. That's why I was complaining. Consider adding the required. We'll figure out how to initialize that in a minute because we need this. That's the problem. So, yeah. What I want to do is get it actually testing to hit that breakpoint and see where we get. So we know we got the token response before. That's awesome. So we can get here and see what happens now. If you are new to the stream, if you're just watching, you're more than welcome to ask any questions. Again, I don't have to be developing all the time to be productive. I feel that the stream can be sharing some of why I'm doing what I'm doing or how I'm doing what I'm doing. But hopefully what we have at the end of this is we have 2 examples of how to authenticate with watch a video on Kafka, understand it more now. Nice. I'll have to have a chat and go through that. Always interested in people's takes on Kafka because I feel that I've kind of learned it through. Again, as a lot of my coding goes, I learn through failure. I'm like that. Is it a pachinko machine where the ball just drops and goes between the pins, etc.? I feel that I learn that way. I'm like, oh, this works. This doesn't work. This works. This doesn't work. So I'm always interested to understand people's perspectives and thoughts on tools like Kafka. But again, I am a do by try, like learn by trying rather than go off and watch videos all the time because I just don't take the content in. So I struggle with that style of learning. So we have our token response. We have everything working there. So we go in here now. We'll go and get into 10 credentials. We'll go to our YouTube service. We'll make our request list. So we have a channels request. Right. We set it. Oh, I don't like that. That is a weird. Oh, and it errored. The format of value developer stream is invalid. Let's just do that. It's fine. I don't think it'll matter. But yeah, I'd absolutely, I'd be, I'd love to have a talk about it while it's still fresh in your mind and see what your thoughts and opinions are and what questions you have. Okay, let's try this once more. Take 55. Come on. Come on. Let's do this. Let's do this. Oh, dogs don't start barking. Our neighbors must love me. Dogs decided to do that at 6 a.m. Okay, so we link our YouTube account. We choose the account. We choose the brand that we're going to link the channel for. So this is the channel. So Learning to Tech is another channel that a friend and I started a long time ago. Let's go here. Okay, let's go. That error, didn't it? That errored. The service YouTubers from an exception has not been used in project before, or it is disabled. Enable it by visiting. Don't do this to me, Cloud Console. It's me. I mean, I get it, but the problem I have with this right now is there's just so many steps to jump through. It's so many hoops to jump through. It's kind of ridiculous. So no, gosh, it don't work. Invalid grant. You only have one. You only have one bite of the apple, I think. Let's try that once more. I've enabled the YouTube API. There we go. Then the channel. Hey, we got it. We got the response. Now let's see where we go from here. Channel is kind YouTube channel. Snippet. Custom URL. Title. Yeah, see, title is Terry BD. ID is that. And yeah. So what we actually need there is that part. I think. Testing this is going to be horrendous because I'm not going to actually have validation that any of this is really working until either one of you checks it out and does it with your YouTube channel, or I put it live and in on the yeah. Sorry, I'm just like uh, okay, so it's actually the site isn't public, but the code is available for you if you want to. I'm not going to take any PRs, but the code is available on there. So that was basically what we want to do there is return return channel dot uh-oh, what was it in? Which of these was that in? Was it in snippet? Yeah, custom URL, there you go. Actually, let's just do it this way. Return dot snippet dot custom URL. What don't you like here? Possible null reference return. That should be fine. Sadly, dev drive not mounting between reboots is annoying. Ugh. If channel name is null, return result dot not. Oh. Otherwise, what do you want to do there? Yeah, I figured you want to do a ternary operator. It's funny though, because when I upload that later, if I put this into SonarQube, it's going to go, oh, this is too complicated. You shouldn't do this. Okay. That's a little better. Replace with null. More ternary operators. I don't like this idea of setting the state of something and then making and calling it. It just doesn't read nice as an API. The user there, I don't know if it will matter. That concerns me a little bit, but we can modify that, right? Because we could actually modify the user ID if we need to. But let's not panic about that right this second. Interestingly, we don't need an HTTP client here now. That's interesting because that means that entire thing changes to be add transient all right, so YouTube we're not going to use. That's okay. What we'll do afterwards is we'll wrap some extension methods around these, so we just add YouTube, add Twitch, and that will make that cleaner. Joe, good morning. How are you doing? So now we have the code flow, we have that, we have that. We might have enough to do what we need to do. Let's see if it works. And then we'll do some refactoring. In fact, I'm so confident I'm going to do that. I'm going to remove that. So let's run. So to get YouTube added, I have to first set up a an application in YouTube, in the Google console. I have to add a client so I can make a client ID request from here. I then have to enable YouTube SDK against my, and I can't show this because YouTube shows way more information than I'm comfortable sharing on stream. I then had to enable YouTube API as an enabled API in my developers.stream app. Yeah. Yes. This is all very, so I have client IDs, so I have a client ID for that. And now I can set up branding, I can set up other things. So we will, that will be a fun one to remember when I go to configure this for actual live usage. However, let's try. Let's see if we can't get this to say at TBD develops. Okay, what was the error I hit there, by the way? Ugh. What is this error? Uh-oh, a suitable constructor for developers. It's not going to work. Let's actually look. YouTube could not be located. Ensure the type is concrete and all parameters of the public constructor are either registered or services or passes arguments. Okay, so we have a challenge there. YouTube client, iOptions, YouTube configuration. What would you not? What would not work there? Try that again. Okie doke. Let's do this. Let's run once more. Okay. Let's just. Please don't show a red. Nope. A suitable constructor for developers' YouTube client could not be located. Ensure the type is concrete in all parameters. Come on. Come on. A suitable constructor. What did I change? I stopped to be an HTTP client, which is fine because it's not an HTTP client. It doesn't need to be an HTTP client. Add transient. YouTube client. Oh, hold on. Yeah, they're configurations. They shouldn't matter. Suitable constructor could not be located. What do you call that? That's about as suitable as you can make it. What am I missing? Have I forgotten how code works all of a sudden? We inject YouTube client into EI. Okay. YouTube client is a well, clearly I changed it from HTTP client, and all of a sudden it's now broken. But I'm still setting it up as transient, so it should still be a sufficient. Like the complaint is that there's no constructor, but there is a constructor that is a primary constructor, and this is resolvable because we've configured that. So how can it complain that there's no constructor? That's just wrong. Let's just start the API up. It's not going to initialize that until it needs to, though. It's going to need the scope. Ugh. Hold on. Oh, we might be able to. You can all go away. Shouldn't matter. HTTPS, localhost, level 173. Should be sufficient to trigger it. Link account. Code equals 1234. State equals terrible. Are you actually saying you worked now? Did you really get in there and YouTube client was fine? YouTube client. Oh look, YouTube client. And this is obviously going to fail because it's like the connection string property is not been initialized. Interesting. Not the problem I thought I would have there. Okay. But I'm pretty sure that tells me that it can resolve it. There wasn't. Oh, yes, of course it was. Of course it was. Thank you, Mojo. Ugh. That's the problem. You are correct. Thank you. So the was, oh yes, I now have to have everything in two places because of the way it works. Oh, as frustrating as that is, what that means is what I'll do is I'll actually consolidate the actual configuration of that into a method. Then you'll just reference the method, and if I change it, it changes in one place. It's just not something I'm used to doing. Oh, API. I really don't like that, by the way. I get it. I still don't like it. Okay. Where are the dogs? Dogs are still playing outside, so. $115,580 game saves, lol. I do have some plans for what I want to do with the actual channel points. Well, I mean, I have like 400,000 on one line stream, 500,000 on, no, similar numbers on, not maybe not one line stream. I know I've got almost 500,000 on several different streams, and my highest ever was on Break's stream. I used to watch a lot of Break. He's a gamer from Manchester. I had 1 million his stream. So channel points. Channel points are Channel points are overrated. It's not a bad idea. I think it's very hard to come up with creative ways of using the channel points. Okay, here we go. Here we go. We delete the thing. We go to profile. We link our YouTube account. It takes us here. We can select our account. We select the brand we want to be known as. And then we click a link and it's linked and it is linked. There we go. We have YouTube and Twitch account linking working. So now we go back to here and there we go. Twitch. Oh, but it's because I put the @ sign in for us. So we know that now Twitch, YouTube returns the @ we can go and take that component out of this piece, layout, streamer cards. Nope. Streamer card. Title, channel name. Platform address. Oh, because I put that there. So we don't need that anymore. So we can apply that change. And then potentially, I should just stop the site in the dashboard and run the site again. I wonder if that'd work. Because hot garbage, hot reload is just not useful. I'm actually get to that, but I'm calling it hot garbage first. Click on that. Lukewarm reload. Come on. So not where I wanted to be. What I wanted to do today was play with the actually. I wanted to play with the reload a bit, but not the reload, the cards and the layout in general. But now that should take me to my YouTube account. There you go. That's YouTube channel. By the way, thank you for whoever subscribed the last couple of days. We hit 400 subscribers, so that's awesome. So we have our channels linked. We go to our profile. They're both linked. Obviously, unlinking is going to be a thing. We're going to have to be able to remove that channel link. I think it's good enough that you have to have validated those accounts to say, yeah, these are your streams. Does anyone feel I'm missing anything from that workflow right a second? I suppose is a question. Because don't forget, this is intended to be an open source project. This is intended to be a community project in the end. I'm just laying down the groundwork for some of the pieces, and then, yeah, okay. So I'm going to consider that part a success. Obviously, there's a bit more code. Oh, there's a lot of code. I had to change a lot to get to this. Let's get that in there. Okay. Let's see what Copilot makes of it. Generate me a commit message, please. Add YouTube integration for account linking and authentication. That's awesome. That's the best it can do with 19 modified files. That's awesome. I mean, I'm going to commit it because AI. Curious that was so short. No, I don't want War and Peace. That's the point. I'm actually happy with what it gave me. It's just amusing because every time I've done that in the past, it's been like just crazy amounts of unless he just knows me. Unless it's learned who I am and it's like, he doesn't want description, he just wants nice and clear. This is what it does. Okay. With that said, I did say we'll tackle these pieces. So we want this to be consistent across the two pieces because we just noticed, oh, thank you, Mojo, for pointing it out. This and this go together. This and this go together, but they're both repeated in two places. So let's add directory configuration, add a new class. This will be YouTube of Twitch Twitch client configuration. It's a static class anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Static iService collection. That's fine. Add Twitch client. This iService collection services. Then we go here. We copy those. We cut those two pieces out. Put them in there. That's always fun when you have a configuration requirement. That's because we don't have extension. We don't have the HTTP stuff there. We'll get that though. Configure. Do we get a resolver here? That'd be awesome if we got a resolver. There's another way of doing this. It's just, yeah. No, we do not get a version that resolves at the point of. Yeah. I'm going to be right back. Let's go get the dogs. Okay, sorry about that. Hello, Taylor. Do you have an issue? Were there not enough cookies provided? You're not going back outside? You've been digging holes? Sorry about that. Okay. So when you inject a service collection, you don't get this. Normally you get a resolver if it's going to resolve, so you can always get configuration afterwards. Another way of doing this is to put this at the host level. I've seen a variety of ways of doing some of these things. I don't think I'm off on how. Another way is to pass in the configuration. which I'm going to go with that path right this second. It's just simpler. Install 90. Oh. Install 904. We might as well get the latest version rather than that. So all I'll do there is swap that out for configuration. Argument type iConfiguration section is not assignable to parameter type. What? It's an iConfiguration object. iConfiguration section. Why did that change? What is that actually changing? Oh, because configure's behavior has changed. It's not adding the, it's not options. This configure here is not, it is not, to do that, I'm going to have to add, no, it's added the options pattern in there. It's just not added that ability. Because if I look at services, registered action used to configure a particular type of options. Right, but that doesn't, I don't get it. Why is that broken? That is not the same, is it? That there is Microsoft dependency injection options configuration service collection extensions. That is not that. Interesting. So is that not the same services? My service collection. It's really frustrating when you end up with very different. So yesterday I was working with DynamoDB, right? And I'm looking at how to query the library or query the data easily. And I found a library that did it, and it says, okay, you just do this on your DynamoDB context, etc. And then after about half an hour, I realized I had the Amazon DynamoDB library installed, thinking I'd need that anyway, because I'm talking to DynamoDB. Turns out this library creator who created the extension methods has actually re-implemented the entire thing and has DynamoD lowercase b as the name of the context. So I'm looking at the code thinking it's exactly what was there. Yeah. Is this where we add web app reference in the class libcs project, or is an abstractions library for what? Why would I add the web app? Monitor flickering to the side of me, driving me crazy. Not sure I follow. Where would I add the web app? Did that really go like that? Yeah. So why is this? There should be no web specific behavior. The HTTP client that does not need the web app. So that one I'm not worried about. This one I'm concerned about because the behavior, this is not the same configure. There's something that requires adding a reference directly to the CS. No. Options service collection extension. This method here, this configure method here, is not the same as this configure here. but they're both the same dependency injection library. So why is that triggering the difference? I'll tell you what, here's how we test it. God, stop. Sorry, having people home when I'm streaming has been a challenging experience because people start making noise, and I'm used to just sitting here quietly coding. Let's do this. Swap out I host Vision Builder. Seems like a really awful abstraction to add, but let's just do it for the sake of this. All right, so builder services. He's still complaining. It's still the wrong method. Oh well. Before I add half of the .NET framework to an extension library, I will hold off on that piece. That's not healthy to keep adding those in to try and solve the problem by brute force. That's normally not an issue for me because normally I'm the host is there, but yeah. But I'm not giving up on that thing specifically. I'm just gonna figure out what the yeah. Last year you had to add something to class library. I think it was Microsoft. What that was that for again? So there are going to be dependencies I need to add in to get that configuration working. I will need abstraction libraries around configuration, around HTTP, etc. They're going to be necessary to do that. But the idea is either I do it here, I say add database and do add Twitch client, add YouTube client. Right, that's what I'm aiming for there. We're not referencing anything through a CS branch. I'm not adding a reference that way. There's never a need for me to reference this from here. That would create a circular dependency. That would be a horror. So this just needs a little bit more time. But the goal will be very much to do that. So these don't have to be repeated. Then I can do the exact same down here and not have the duplication there or that risk of, did I add it in both places? Did I not? Because I'll change the dependency injection on one piece versus the other. This isn't, so this infrastructure.auth is here. This isn't about auth, technically. It's just about access to your account. So I might do some refactoring here. Yeah. But the primary goal, we'll finish up by showing the stream. Why is my screen doing that? Games. Okay. Sorry, I know I'm being quiet. My apologies. I was trying to find who we are going to go raid, but no one's streaming anything development wise that I can see. And the one I was going to raid just finished. so not the greatest of progress, but great progress. We can now link to We can link Twitch and YouTube, which is a good step forward. We can update our details. We did that last stream. So going into Monday, I think the goal will be very much about the UI. It'll be very much about figuring out what it should look like, how the cards should look. What does this mean, right? How do I collect this? Right? Is there an API available for Twitch that I can go and capture a thing, or YouTube? YouTube, I highly doubt there'll be something there, but we can hope, right? So we'll start that exploration, figure out, because I think having some UI there, some label there is better than just a card. We could just go with a card for now, and add that as a feature in the future rather than digging that, because then the structure is starting to get there. Maybe we'll start working on tags actually. So to Potato's point earlier on, right? Like the project stuff. I'm trying to, what I'm trying to do there is find something that is engaging to me. I'm only doing this development on stream. I'm not doing a lot of this off stream, with little exception. When I do it off stream, I'm talking like the 40 minutes before the stream. I'm tinkering if I have any time. So maybe Monday we will work on the tagging, the ability to set a group of tags. That'll be the focus, because that'll start to enrich this. We can take away this panel for now. There's no benefit in this screenshot. What we'll do is we'll review that later. Take care, Mojo. Have a great day. But yeah. So that is where we are. Oh no, Frank streamed today. That's disappointing. It's Friday. It should be a F Bushera stream. Oh, no Frank stream. In that case, who do we go to? We have Biggs is working on an LLM powered bot in Unity. So I think that's the most interesting of the streams I can see. Yeah. So Monday we'll do more on developers at stream. Hopefully by Monday we will have a deployed version of Liquid Sky, and I'll be able to demonstrate that as well. And we can start moving forward with that project as well. So, lots to do, lots to think about. Over the weekend, I'll be focused on Liquid Sky deployment, getting those pieces done, and see if I can complete this. Also, renewing my driver's license, which is going to be an experience. I haven't been in a DMV in 10 years. So, with that, we'll raid Biggs. Don't forget, it is Friday, which means online and community day. Last week was a fascinating conversation about AI and its use in our profession and its use in general, I think. But yeah, let's go raid Biggs. And I will see you later. Take care, all. Bye.